Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nostalgia XT, the NXT Retrospective Podcast. I'm Jack.
I'm Boss.
Today we have NXT Takeover Fatal 4-Way, the second official NXT Takeover and the third in our series of reviewing these old school NXT events. Of course, this show headlined by the Fatal 4-Way that it is named after between Tyson Kidd, Tyler Breeze, Sami Zayn, and Adrian Neville. Moss, how'd you like this show?
This may be a controversial opinion.
Yeah.
This was the worst out of the three we've done so far.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
had a really rough time with this show, and it didn't help that, in my opinion, it was basically two matches and then
Yep.
a bunch of fluff to get to them.
Yeah, I'd say I'd agree with you that this was the weakest show of the three we've watched so far. Of course, being Arrival and Takeover one, but I think it was still an enjoyable show for me. And yeah, it's a two-match show for sure. Maybe two and a half. You give the opener a little bit
Yeah, the
more
opener
run.
was pretty strong.
Especially considering it was Ascension match and they actually had a match, which
Yeah.
we haven't seen yet. But yeah, I think it's the weakest of the takeovers thus far, but I think it has a lot of merit in terms of furthering the storyline. So while it doesn't necessarily feel like it was a Grand Slam out of the park show, I think it is a good building block for potentially the future.
Yeah, and I will say I do appreciate that. I think it's like 4 minutes in, the bell rings. So like,
Oh fuck
there's
yeah.
not a lot of like time beforehand. They're really trying to get matches in.
Yes. Yeah, this
But
takeover
yeah,
has, I think, one extra match compared to the shows from before. Now, that's not necessarily compensated for in time for these matches, but they definitely try and get as many people in the ring as possible.
yeah,
Yeah. So, anyways, leading up to the show, this as was reminded on the broadcast, this September 11th edition of NXT Takeover Fatal 4-Way. We have some,
okay.
yeah. They just kept talking about it.
That explains a lot because I didn't realize it was on September 11th, and I just heard them mention it, and I was just like, "What?"
This didn't happen in 2001. No, it's September 11th, 2014. So 13 years after. So it was before I think the cultural kind of zeitgeist like agreed that we can like stop having to talk about it all the time, especially on the date. But it was
Yeah.
this show has a couple, like the other shows we've had, a couple like fucky time flashback. Oh, we're in 2014 moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, some kind of brief news roundup compared to last time. Takeover 2 is announced at the NXT tapings on July 31st, so about a month and some change before, and it's officially announced on the August 21st episode, when the tapings air. The kind of big news happening backstage in between our last event and this one is that the recent NXT call-ups, notably Adam Rose, Paige, and Bo Dallas, are not reportedly
Bo.
seen as succeeding on the main roster, let's say, and Vince is not high on them, which I kind of expected, for Adam Rose and maybe even Bo Dallas, but I read the report about Paige. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, because, like, Adam Rose is definitely, like, I think he works a lot stronger in a smaller crowd like this, especially one familiar with his gimmick.
Yeah.
And I get, like you were saying last week, Bo has a certain, like, high that he can reach just as a gimmick.
Yeah.
But that is shocking. Paige didn't see any like pop.
Well, especially, well, I think she got crowd reaction, but this was more a report on kind of like the backstage attitudes towards her from like Vince and
Well,
stuff. And
yeah,
I think that is emblematic of the like old school thinking main roster still suck in since she's not like a prototypical diva. Um,
yeah.
but she is Diva's champion. Um, but I think I don't know this era going through the weekly TV leading up to the show. It's kind of shocking. She's like still around on NXT, which is it's like even
Dang.
more puzzling. Like she's just her and Adam Rose are pulling double duty, and Bo has the Mr. NXT kind of send off storyline thing where he tries to sneak back in after getting kicked out of NXT. But these
Yeah.
people are pulling double duty, and it feels like they're kind of flexing two different muscles. I think with Adam Rose too, it's like they're totally neutering his gimmick, and it's not really working because like he's coming out, and like the Exotic Express has gone from like 20 people to like four, and the bunny.
Oh,
And it's just like, oh, this is just like a fucking asshole now. Like when it's like 20 people, you get a little sucked into the
some
party
of the like
atmosphere.
vibe of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but when the numbers dwindle, because in between tapings, some of the people who were rosebuds actually just start wrestling.
Yeah.
Like Becky Lynch starts having her first couple matches and stuff, and so he just loses some numbers, and they cut some other people, and it's just not working. So yeah, Adam Rose and Bo Dallas seem doomed for the time being. Paige, she recovers from this kind of report, but yeah, that's the interesting thing happening. Also, a few days later, we get reports that budget cuts and roster cuts are coming to NXT. Uh,
Ooh.
this is following main roster releases as well. This is the bunch of main roster releases which included Drew McIntyre,
Jesus.
which leads to him, going on the indies, reforming himself, and then coming back to the company in fierce form.
Mm-hmm.
But these cuts are happening because Wall Street's just not happy with the bottom line, and they want to make the numbers look better. It's not really anything to do with NXT as a product. It's just WWE as a whole is trying to kind of save face with the Wall Street.
Yeah.
So, but we don't get any official releases yet. But they do come eventually. Then a month later, July 12th, we get the official news that will play into this night's NXT that Kenta has signed, the Japanese pro wrestling legend. And he's announced at a live event that he'll show up on this takeover event. In addition to this, Kevin Steen, known as Kevin Owens, was signed, and Prince Devitt, now known as Finn Balor, signs. And
Oh.
apparently, they have all shown up to the Performance Center. They've taken pictures. On August 12th, Kevin Owens has his first photo shoot with Triple H, and he's looking all happy to be there. So yeah, the new era revolution of NXT is kind of happening. We talked about last time how people were fearing for their jobs. Well, the people who are apparently taking their jobs have arrived.
Yeah. I do want to ask because I've
Yeah.
seen Kevin Owens, I've seen Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give me like a quick rundown of Kenta? Because
Yes.
like I could tell by audience reaction he was like a amazing person to get on NXT, but I don't really know his history before
Yeah.
this.
So a spoiler alert, I guess, but to talk about him, Kenta doesn't really end up working out in WWE. He gets this. We'll get into it when we get into the show, but he gets like this high class treatment. He's treated as a big
Mm-hmm.
fucking deal here. And that's because he is. But in WWE, he's there for 5 years or so, and then he kind of never gets a fair run of things in my estimation, and he goes back to Japan. But Kenta is a Japanese wrestling legend. He's been going since 2000, and he's been
Dang.
uh, he kind of wrestled in before his NXT debut. He wrestled kind of everywhere in Japan except for New Japan Pro Wrestling. But he's really known for his run in Pro Wrestling Noah, which is one of the kind of flagship promotions of Japan. And he did great work there for, about a decade before coming to NXT. He also worked Ring of Honor when he came to the States. And he's truly an exceptional in ring talent in my estimation. In 2013, he was ranked number 22 in the top 500 singles wrestlers in the PWI
Dang.
500, which is like a mix between, uh, storyline accomplishments, like how many titles you win, but also with kind of real world reputation. But
Yeah.
he's a multiple time heavyweight champion in NOAH, also junior heavyweight champion. Um, he he's just like this really prestigious wrestler. He's the inventor of the go to sleep, which CM Punk co opted as
Oh,
his
that's
finisher.
sick.
And he kind of beats with him on Twitter because he sees him use it. He's like, it looks like shit. Um, but yeah, and since he's gone to New Japan Pro Wrestling after his exit from WWE, but yeah, he's just like known as one of the best in ring workers there is. He has a certain aura and an energy to him that you see on this episode, and yeah, he's an exciting pickup for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's sick, but it's sad to hear he never really gets the spotlight on the WWE run.
Yeah, well, he's got plenty of takeover matches that we'll run into, but his problem is he gets onto main roster eventually, and he gets put in the cruiserweight division on 205 Live, and that division just really never got the respect. And he eventually
Oh,
requests his release because he comes in and he's like one of the biggest stars in wrestling outside of WWE, and then he's kind of relegated. So I think he knows his own worth, and that's why he gets out.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, he doesn't quite work out. But he's here on NXT, and his NXT run, in my memory, is filled with a lot of great in ring stuff. So I'm looking forward to watching him go. But yeah, yeah, Kenta, Steen, and Devitt are the three signings. Kenta and Steen, I think, have officially been announced. Devitt is on the way. Also, in kind of broad general NXT news, on the August 28th edition of NXT, we get a big switch up, and that is that William Regal is the new general manager of NXT, which is
Yeah.
awesome. That fucking rules.
I
And sadly, he's no longer on commentary because of this.
well, I was gonna mention. I was like, oh, we have someone new on commentary. Okay, that's cool. I'm sad to see Regal gone, and then he shows up halfway through, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is why he couldn't
Yeah,
commentate.
Regal will be sticking around for the foreseeable future as NXT general manager. We will not be missing him. But yeah, commentary team is Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, and of course, now filling in for Regal is Renee Young, who is now known as Renee Paquette, but she is in my estimation, the best ever like backstage interviewer they've had in the 21st century. She's decent, pretty good on commentary. She's not the most comfortable, and she's always kind of excelled more in like the interview role. But I enjoy her here. She has some funny lines throughout that I
Yeah.
made note of, but she also kind of gets relegated because Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton are like they know each other and they've commentated before, so she kind of very much comes off as like the third commentator a lot.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's hard to escape that going from like in the other two pay-per-views, it was them and William Regal
Yeah.
who could kind of stand on his own 2 feet, but then being a replacement for him and not being a part of that connection already,
Mm-hmm.
you could feel a lot of moments where it's like she probably had more to say but didn't want to like take
Yeah.
the floor.
And of course, she's a woman, and I think the guys are comfortable with each other, and it was we're still in the baby steps of women in WWE being presented well, let alone the like non wrestler talent. So it's growing pains at the moment, but I find her
Yeah.
enjoyable. Um, Before Takeover, there's a report that on Takeover, Kenta, known in WWE as Hideo Itami, will be introduced at Takeover by Ric Flair.
What? Well, that didn't happen.
Apparently, a couple days before the event, quote unquote, personal issues prevents Flair from going to the event. That would have changed the vibe a whole lot. I like what they did. Instead,
Yeah.
Regal's a better choice. But
I
yeah,
I
we dodged a Ric Flair sighting once
woo
again.
off. I mean, I could not imagine him just coming in like a loaded pistol to introduce Kenta, who is a lot more grounded.
Yeah, yeah, these two seem like they have approximately zero things in common other than the fact that they are both good wrestlers.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so we don't get that, but there was like about a week long frenzy of Ric Flair's gonna put over Hideo Itami, and then that just doesn't happen. We get another Triple H pre takeover press conference, a little less juicy than the previous ones, but some interesting quotes still. He says that NXT will be and continue to be a feeder system for the main roster shows, but there's a desire to have it be a catalyst that pushes those shows and the performers on them to be better, which I think is good. You know, at this point in time, there's no AEW, there's no TNA's not really doing well, so there's no like American really
Yeah.
competition. So I think creating internal competition is a good way of like enhancing your quality and not resting on your laurels.
Yeah, because it gives you something to still check ratings against, keep energies up, and see what works in one venue versus another.
He talked about on the press conference about Kenta's debut and mentioned that his role is very important to the company's global initiatives, which is corporate speak for we like international talent so we can draw in international crowds.
Yeah. I mean, they even say they started airing on a TV station in Japan in their like morning news.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure they appreciate getting more and more international connections.
Yeah, this is part of their strategy. We'll see. Eventually, I forget what year it launches. It's like 17 or 18, but they start launching NXT UK, which is like a UK branch of NXT with its own talent, and it's really a way to like sap up all of the wrestlers from all over the world, and it ends up being really bad. But as a
Yeah.
business strategy, it makes sense. Try and get as international as of an audience as possible. Um, he also in this call talks about the performance center, which is coming along nicely, and talks about how quickly people progress there. And he talks about how Kenta, Balor, Owens, they all came into the performance center, and he said, "Oh, they're so great, but even they have stuff to learn there," which I think is interesting. Just
Yeah.
you sign these guys. There's a reason they go to NXT, not straight to main roster. But it's interesting. We'll see, like, if they have, when we watch their kind of first segments and stuff, if they have much like change in persona, especially the guys that we've watched a lot of now, like Balor and Owens. Like, if we
Yeah.
can see kind of difference in how they move or how they treat the camera. Um, Also, um, he said that both Kevin Owens and Balor were going to be, quote, brought in the biggest way possible. So perhaps we can expect big things for them on NXT soon. Um, and then a final note that I thought was actually really interesting, and I never knew, even though I watched the show and they were in Full Sail for so long. But apparently, Triple H mentioned that the partnership with Full Sail University, where they run their shows, that they use the money for the tickets and people entering to fund scholarships at the school.
Oh, really?
And they apparently at this point had donated more than 100 grand in scholarship money,
Dang.
which I was like, oh
That
shit, that's cool.
no, that's actually insanely cool to
Yeah,
imagine
and
that.
and and it's cool because from my understanding, Full Sail's not like a huge university, but from what I understand, it specializes in, like, like media and film and stuff. So I feel
Yeah.
like this partnership makes just a ton of sense.
No, I
Um,
mean,
yeah.
I would love to go to a university where I could check out a show and then my ticket funds go to help others get into the same school. Like
Yeah,
that's amazing.
it's pretty awesome. I can't lie. Um, but anyways, that will take us to the main show, NXT Takeover Fatal 4-Way, airing September 11th, 2014. We get the roar of the crowd intro
Yeah,
with
they
a
were
couple
popping off.
couple different names, I think, from last time on the video. Um,
Hmm.
and then we get our first match coming up with the Lucha Dragons versus Ascension.
What?
This is a
Uh,
tag title match,
yeah,
and we have beef with the Ascension's tag title run. I think we can agree.
yeah. I was preying on their downfall the entire match.
Yeah. So it's the Lucha Dragons versus Ascension. Kalisto comes out. He's with Sin Cara. They're doing the Lucha chant. They do it maybe 500 times.
Yeah,
It's the one thing they know how to do. The build for this match has been uh, more than the previous Ascension matches. Um,
yeah.
they
I heard
hold,
they mentioned a tag tournament that happened.
yeah, they hold a tournament for number one contenders. They show it in a video package. Um, it's like honestly a really strange gathering of teams.
Hmm.
You get uh, in the first round, you have Enzo and Cass, who we see later taking on Ty Dillinger and Jason Jordan, and Enzo and Cass win that one. And then uh, the other first round match is Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel versus Sami Zayn and Adam Rose,
Okay.
which is a weird team that exists. But Sami Zayn and Adam Rose win. And then the other first round matchups are the Vaudevillains versus Mojo Rawley and Bull Dempsey, and the Vaudevillains win, which leads us to our Mojo versus Dempsey match later. And then the Lucha Dragons beat Blake and Murphy. Vaudevillains beat Enzo and Cass to get to the finals. Lucha Dragons beat Adam Rose and Sami Zayn, which is low key a kind of crazy win. And then Lucha Dragons beat the Vaudevillains relatively quickly in the finals to earn the right to face the Ascension. And there's not a ton of personal story between the two, but it's something. They've made another tag team look credible.
Yeah. I do want to say, I saw the clip they showed of the VOD villains, and what do you mean? What? What? What was that?
The vaudevillains? Oh, you'll see.
Yeah,
They're gonna pop up for us later. They become a kind of staple tag team here. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I love
Yeah,
their gimmick
they have a
already.
pretty fun gimmick. I can't lie. Aiden English and Simon Gotch, they're a relic of the era, but I love it. So yeah, we have Ascension versus Kalisto and Sin Cara, who are the Lucha Dragons. Um, Match starts off, and the commentary immediately kind of starts going, "This is the first time the Ascension have faced any risk." And as soon as they said that, in my head, I was like, they're probably losing.
Yeah, I mean, multiple of my notes before the match even begins are just like, I hope the Ascension loses their belts. Huh, Triple H would love the Ascension and their reign of terror.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
real. Some early action. Sin Cara is flying around, hits a springboard moonsault press, which is pretty good. But
Yeah.
then he gets cut off by Victor, and Connor starts hitting the shit out of him on the outside. Um,
Can, can I
yep.
also mention, in these early moments, they call Connor the bulldozer for the Ascension, and they stick to that.
Hmm.
But then they say he mows anything in his path, and I was just starting to get confused between Victor being the scalpel, him being the bulldozer, but somehow they mow things.
Yeah, none of those three things share any overlap.
None, absolutely none.
Yeah, that's
But I
pretty
loved it.
horrific. Yeah,
I,
it works out. I mean, they look. This is the best match the Ascension have had by far in our
definitely,
series.
yeah,
Victor at one point starts talking trash to Kalisto while beating up Sin Cara. The Sin counters a rope assisted powerbomb into a Hurricane Rana, which is cool. But Victor tags in Connor, and Kalisto just gets fucking yeeted to the floor.
yeah.
Sin Cara like kicks up at Connor from the floor and hits an enziguri, but then Connor just like starts legitimately bulldozing him to the other side of the ring. But then
Which I
Sin
should
Cara is just like, fuck
emphasize.
this, and he goes, I flip, and then he gets a hot tag.
No, but you should emphasize the bulldozing that he did was crawling on his hands and knees, just pushing him into the corner.
Yeah, he just outpowers him, pushes him in the corner. It's like, honestly, it's like, I love that. That's cool. I
Yeah,
want more Ascension doing that. Kalisto gets the hot tag. He's a ball of fire entering, gets a near fall. Kalisto ends up like pushing up the middle rope while the Ascension are on the outside, so Sin Cara can do a dive. Looked pretty sick.
yeah,
Kalisto goes for a crossbody on the outside to both Ascension men, but they catch him. They try and like throw him over their heads, but then he just lands on his feet, and Sin Cara dives on him. Pretty sweet. These guys just like
yeah.
do flippy shit, and it kind of rules.
Especially because after Sin Cara dived on them, Kalisto's just standing at the top of the ramp popping the lucha emote
Yeah,
after being thrown, and I
he
really
hits.
like that.
Yeah, Kalisto often hits left D pad to taunt and hit the lucha
Yeah.
chant. Kalisto back in the ring goes for a moonsault, but he lands on his feet, and then Victor turns it into a like clothesline STO, which looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Sin Cara takes out Connor before the Ascension can hit the follow man finishing move, which leaves Kalisto in the ring to hit his finisher, the Salida del Sol, to win the NXT Tag Championships. I was pleasantly surprised that they lost. I
Yeah.
can't lie.
No, agreed. I went into this fully thinking it was going to be another pay per view of Ascension keeping the belt. And when they got it, I popped off with the crowd. I was genuinely happy with
Yeah,
this match.
yeah. Kalisto and Sin Cara, they're a pretty fun act. I don't think they're like a totally polished act, but I think beating them risked setting back the tag division even further. And this allows literally any other tag team to kind of gain some prestige. They can run back the Ascension match with them later if they want to, but this gives Lucha Dragons like some credibility, and winning here was pretty good. I think The commentators mentioned that their reign ends at 344 days. I would have liked if the um kind of story leading into the match like matched the occasion of a team with a year-long reign losing their belts, but
Yeah,
I won't argue with the result in the end, which is just the team I preferred the belts to be on wins.
yeah, and I'm excited to see more more interesting tag matches because, like we were saying, the last few for the Ascension haven't been particularly strong. So
No,
them keeping the belt through all that,
this was their best
yeah,
match by a lot, and it's because they had a more back and forth. I thought their offense popped more because they weren't only doing offense.
agreed, agreed.
And the commentators call it the biggest upset in the history of NXT. I guess so.
They also go to a top of ramp interview, and
Yes.
Kalisto just goes, "It feels incredible." Ah,
Yeah, he really just like screams and luchas. These are his two
yeah,
modes. Yeah, and Sin Cara also does the lucha chant. They're like clearly popping off. They
yeah,
like legitimately love this shit. Do the lucha chant
yeah.
to send us away, and then like I don't want to be disrespectful, but then they just like go to the commentator desk and then they're like, and of course it's 9/11, so sending out thoughts to America, and then the camera just hangs on them for like 5 seconds too long,
Yeah.
and then we do a video package about Neville.
No, I need to say, with the interruption to like address 9/11,
Yeah,
I found it so funny because, like you said, not just in this moment, but multiple times through the show, it felt like the cameraman hung on shots just 3 seconds too long, where
especially
they
on the
had nothing to
commentator's
say.
desk.
Yeah,
I don't know
and
what's
then
going with that.
it also didn't help that the crowd was still popping off from the Lucha
And they were
Dragons
like
winning,
lucha,
so
lucha.
yeah, you can hear them cheering through the somber moment like they love the fact that 9/11 happened, which
Yeah,
really kind of
man. Fuck.
undercut the
Yeah,
message.
I'm not gonna say, oh, they shouldn't have done this, but they should have done it differently. Um,
Maybe just like do the promo and then before the CJ Parker match.
yes, just cut it there. Yeah, don't do all that then. Anyways, we get a Neville video package. It is kind of talking about him defying expectations. It's showing not an overtly heel side of Neville, but definitely he's
Yeah.
letting some of like his success get to his head, and he's becoming a little overconfident and cocky, which I appreciate as a character beat because I think in the past couple shows I've enjoyed Neville's in ring work, but I think he as a character is a bit bland. So I
Yeah.
enjoy this extra swagger he's kind of getting, and it'll play into the
No,
main event finish later.
no, I agree. I wrote down it's nice to give him a bit of this arrogance to like give him a layer to his character
Yeah,
cuz like you were saying, it really shows off in the main event.
yeah. But before we get anywhere near that, we get C.J. Parker. He's here for a match. He apparently before the show on the pre-show demanded Regal gave him a match, and that's what he's getting. Um, the kind of story up to this point is just CJ has been doing protests in the crowd, just like protesting shit during the show, which is kind of entertaining and gives him some space to work on his character. But then he has like
Yeah.
a mini feud with Xavier Woods that's kind of like stupid and bad.
Okay.
And then he lost to Neville last week in the main event of the show, which is, expected. But he's here to face Baron Corbin, who gets a jobber entrance.
Yeah, I hated to see that we didn't even get to see his entrance.
Yeah, but I think it was done to subvert expectations. It's his NXT debut, kinda. He's had matches before, but they're saying it's his debut, and he uh, kicks his ass and wins in 30 seconds. Corbin just wins.
Yeah, I think they hit two moves, both of them Corbin on CJ Parker.
Yeah, there's a punch, and then he hits the end of days, which rules as a finisher. I always love the
It
end of
does.
days, and then his cool fucking biker music plays, and then he just goes away.
I also thought it was funny that because I didn't realize he had showed up before, but I wrote down, "Dang, you gotta be hated if your opponent who is debuting is getting the full crowd to cheer for him, and CJ Parker got nothing."
Yeah, I mean he's this is his official NXT debut. I think he's done like dark matches and stuff at this point. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
there's a thank you Baron chant post match. CJ's stunned, and then that's just the end of the segment.
Yeah, I seeing this match, I was scared because I saw that we had, I think, what, another hour and 40 minutes, and I was like, if there's another 2 minute match, what are we gonna do for the other hour and a half?
Yes, well, what you didn't realize is that there would be like 2 2-minute matches.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Next we get a video package with Tyson Kidd also involved in the main event. Um, and he's getting over his new catchphrase, which is fact, which goes great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. He's much more. He's kind of fully gone heel at this point. After the kind of ambiguous ending to NXT Takeover, we'll get into that more later. But he's kind of full obnoxious heel at this point. Video package. He's like being very arrogant. He's like, it's got the most beautiful person at NXT. Blah blah blah, saying things that you would think apply to all the other people. But he's like, and three people are in the match next to me, and they were all about him.
Yeah.
He's denying the fact that the Natty's husband chants are getting to him, which will be a theme later. He says, at Takeover, my wife isn't involved, which is just a funny sentence.
Yeah.
And he says, at Takeover, Tyson Kidd walks out NXT champion. Fact.
I appreciate what Tyson Kidd is doing. I hated the him trying to push fact
Fact
so
is
much.
bad. If he just said everything he said without saying fact afterwards, it would have been a lot cleaner. But I get it. It's WWE. You need a catchphrase or something. But some people who
Yeah.
are not bad at talking are Enzo Amore and Big Cass. Enzo's out here for his hair versus hair match against Sylvester Lafore. This is a weird fucking thing that happened.
Yeah. So I wanted to start by saying I went into this. I've never seen a hair versus hair match, so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, checking off another bucket list of things
Sure.
that happen in shows. I'm excited to experience this, and I was not expecting any of the direction this match went.
Yeah. So the kind of storyline going into this match, Cass and LaFour kind of have been feuding. Enzo comes back from his broken leg. They do the tag tournament, and in the tag tournament, the Legionnaires, the Frenchmen of Sylvester Lafore and Marcus Louis, kind of start beefing with Enzo and Cass. After the Vaudevillains beat Enzo and Cass in their NXT tag tournament kind of matchup, the LaFour and Louis come out and they take a razor to Enzo's beard and like legit shave like a decent bit of it off, which causes Enzo to challenge a hair versus hair match at Takeover. The next week, the heels get interviewed about the hair versus hair match, and Marcus Louis is like, "Yeah, we accept LaFour, you got it," and he accepts on his behalf, and LaFour is like, "Ugh." And then on the last episode, Marcus Louis lost to Sami Zayn in a match, and after the match, Cass and Enzo come down and try to use the hair removal cream that we see a lot here on him, but he escapes. Now, they don't show the full thing, they show part of it, but before the match, we get a video that is perhaps one of the craziest fucking. And I watched the full version on the TV before it, but it's just one of the craziest fucking videos that anyone's ever made of Enzo and Cass making like the hair removal cream, and Cass is just
They don't.
filming it on his iPhone in a
Yeah.
mirror. And
They
it's
never
like,
call it cream. They call it a potion.
oh yeah, they call it the potion. Sorry, it's the potion. And they're like, it's like they show what I think is the worst part of it, but in the full video on NXT, it's like wonderful. They start this one unfortunately when the gay stereotype comes in, which is less good. But Enzo and Cass are such a good fucking shtick because they're just like bickering the whole time. And like Cass is smarter than Enzo, but Enzo doesn't like realize it. But they're still besties. It's such a weird,
Yeah.
awesome dynamic. But the way the video package ends is Carmella's there and she's like helping them, and they spill the fucking potion on a dog who is there. And then they do a really subtle like, ooh, let me kind of flip the camera, and then they like take a tuft out of the dog's hair to show how effective it was. And Carmella's like, what the fuck? Because, yeah, they put hair removal potion on a dog.
They cover like half the dog in this potion.
Yeah, no, it gets fucking dunked.
I was just in disbelief at what I was watching because I was going into the match like, okay, I'm excited to see what a hair versus hair match entails. And then I was just like, what the dog doing?
Yeah.
Why is it bald now?
Yep. So, yeah, that's the lead up to the match. We got the.
Also,
Yeah.
I just want to say, I hated Enzo's entrance music.
Oh my fucking god. We're gonna have beef.
It was disgusting.
We're gonna have beef. Alright. I can accept if you hate the music, but you have to acknowledge that the Enzo and Cass intro, like, talk shit on the microphone is iconic.
No, I love that. His music just sounded like I was in a slime tutorial from YouTube. Very goopy.
Yeah, sure, that's fair. But yeah, this is first time we see Enzo and Cass on Takeover. They'll be around. They do the "you can't teach that" stuff. Bada boom. The Legionaries are also here. They don't really matter. I can't lie. I didn't spend much time on them. They have fuck ass music and they're French. That's all I got to say about them.
They also, during their shit talking on mic, call Sylvester Lafart, and then
Yeah.
I think Cass does a little fart on mic that was so
Yeah.
good it broke Sylvester mid ring
Yeah,
work.
it was really funny. Enzo and Cass have such good chemistry on mic. In that Sylvester Lafart bit, Enzo just starts going like, "I'm gonna give you a haircut," and then he goes, "Maybe a comb over," and then Cass just goes, "How you doing?" And he goes through like 20 styles of haircuts, and Cass just keeps going, "How you doing?" between every of them. My
Yeah.
favorite was he goes like, "Give him a bob, how you doing? Maybe a weave, how you doing? Maybe a bob and weave, how you doing?" Yeah, these two
No, that
are
was a
fucking
really good.
stars,
Yeah.
like on mic. And then of course before the match, Cass, to start off, says there's only one word to describe Sylvester after his head goes in the bucket. SAWFT, soft.
Soft.
These guys are just like fucking quotable factories.
Yeah.
Enzo and Cass, they rule. Sadly, Enzo and Sylvester Lafort aren't. They don't wrestle that great.
No.
This match is like it's carried by the crowd, and it's not the only reason it's not like deathly is because it has a lot of heat, and the people really like seeing Enzo. They really want to root for him, but the action in this match is pretty nothing.
I mean, one of the best moments I wrote down was Enzo dancing on Sylvester's back,
Yeah.
and then the note after that, I think like 5 minutes later, I just said, "This match inspires hollowness."
Yeah, it's just it's a lot of bark and no bite. I think
Yeah,
Enzo and Cass work better in tag scenarios. I think you drop especially Enzo in a single scenario, it's just not hitting.
yeah,
There's a couple things happening. Enzo does a baseball slide under LaFour and hits a drop kick. That was fine. LaFour like kicks Enzo on the back on the ground pretty hard and makes a good noise. And I was like, that's a good
yeah,
noise. He fights back from some elbows and hits a couple punches to the face of LaFour. But Marcus Louis distracts him, and LaFour hits a big old clothesline for a near fall. They do this weird cinematic shot from the point of view of the potion
yeah.
at
Like
one
the
point where
potion was.
they just like have the camera centered on the potion and then they just like pan up to the ring. It's like weirdly like artsy.
Yeah, I liked that shot. Like the potion was observing whose hair it was gonna take in
Yeah.
real time.
The potion decides. All hail the potion.
All hail potion.
Yeah, but yeah, ringside Cass takes out Marcus Louis after he's getting involved in the match, and then Amore rolls up LaFour with a fistful of tights, and he takes the win, winning the hair versus hair match. However,
Yeah,
LaFour tries running away. He doesn't want to get. He's got these. LaFour, to be fair to him, has some long ass hair, and when the match ends, I'm like, holy fuck, that's a lot of hair to lose.
yeah,
I was like, damn, I wonder how they're gonna do that, and the answer was they don't. Um, Cass starts carrying LaFour to the shaving station that they have on stage, while Enzo's just like talking smack to him. But then Marcus hits Cass with like some weak ass shit, and Cass has to fall down and sell for him. Like he kind of like barely touches him, and Cass has to like fall the way down. And I'm like, I was informed this guy was 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that.
yeah. I mean,
Anyways,
there
yeah.
were. This match had a lot of really weird sells where it felt
Eh,
like certain
yeah.
moves hit a lot harder than they were supposed to, and then certain ones like you could see the person fall down before like the punch even got to them.
Yeah, and it's like these guys aren't done for the night, but like Enzo just like kind of whiffs sometimes on things, and it happens very notably later. But like
Yeah,
it's like it's just there's a little too much air. Like obviously you don't want to hurt people, but you need to make the illusion work. And this isn't excellent. These are definitely developmental guys at this point, but LaFour just kind of runs away at one point, and Marcus Louis gets his ass kicked.
yeah,
He gets a big boot. Cass tells Enzo to get the bucket, and he gets the bucket dumped on his head. Marcus Louis then just like runs off stage, and we will get back to them
see the
later.
result.
But I will. I'm kind of. I'm disappointed in this hair versus hair stipulation only because one, we didn't get the promised person to get their hair shaved. I know LaFour is a
Yeah.
heel, but it's like Marcus Louis' hair is like he's gonna grow it back in like 2 weeks. It's not that long.
No, I mean, the main thing I had with this match was just it felt like a lot of like build up to something and then a whiff, build up and then a
Yeah.
whiff.
Uh
That
huh.
it was hard to really get my like energy into it. And I
Yeah, and
mean,
this match is
it
missing the catharsis in the hair versus hair stipulation that you really want, which is somebody. The potion is funny, but it's missing somebody taking a fucking razor to the head.
in in my mind, this is what you would show on the weekly before this pay-per-view, and then have the pay-per-view match be like, all right, we're seriously doing a hair versus hair. One of us is bald in ring tonight.
Yeah, it's just yeah, and like we get bald Louis later, but it's like I get he looks bad, but it's not as like it's much more satisfying to see someone take a fucking shaver to the head. It's like that's what you want. You don't get the crowd reaction of them starting to lose their hair when you do it all backstage because obviously the hair loss potion doesn't make him lose all his hair. So when he gets it dumped on his head, he just has to like stumble off stage so they can do
Yeah.
the actual shaving and to make it look as like they want. But yeah, that match happened. Unfortunately, we're not done with them, but we'll see them later tonight. And then
Yay.
also, as we go off camera, Enzo just goes to the camera. Never forget. I'm like, oh yeah, it is still 9/11, isn't it?
I thought he was saying that just to be like, we're always gonna be the best. I didn't even catch it was supposed to be
I think
about
it's a 9/11
9/11.
thing. I don't know. He said
Okay.
it with a certain respect that Enzo Mori doesn't say many things with.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, we have a package for Tyler Breeze, and this is the best video package for the Fatal 4-Way main event.
100%. This was an amazing promo to listen
Did
to.
you note the hashtags for each of the competitors?
Yes.
Yeah,
So if I get this right, for Sami Zayn it is hashtag Ugo.
indeed.
For Tyson Kidd it is Natty's husband.
Yeah.
And then the meanest in my opinion, for Adrian Neville it is hashtag Hobbit.
Yeah.
And and that just felt like a personal shot.
Yeah. Tyler Breeze, we'll get to him later. I am enamored with Tyler Breeze. He is so fucking good in everything he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily have like the ring like experience of like a Neville or a Kid or a Sammy, obviously, but man, does he do what he does to the best of his ability.
I mean, I wrote down when this promo started, I've never been more happy to see him.
He's so good. And then after the promo, he's sitting in a chair and he's got like just like three women around him, and the women are like, "Hey, Tyler," and he's like, "Fuck off." I gotta look at myself in selfie cam. I'm like, this guy's based as fuck.
Yeah. And then we hard cut to a Mick Foley video
Yeah,
promo.
they're advertising the network and how you can watch the Monday Night Wars like documentary thing, which is a fantastic documentary, albeit a one-sided history of the Monday Night Wars. But yeah, I guess they're trying to get over Foley somehow. And then before another match, we have William Regal for the first time as general manager on Takeover. He says NXT has become the place for competitors to be. He introduces a video package for Kenta, which is crazy. So
I
yeah.
I was just speechless watching this like from when Regal came out to when Hideo Itami actually speaks, I was just speechless.
Yeah. So yeah, the video package starts playing. And we see him get introduced by fucking Hulk Hogan at a live event. Which is crazy because I don't think Hulk Hogan has ever heard of Kenta.
No.
And then we get these talking head segments with Kofi Kingston and Big E, who are like not NXT people, but they're like, Kofi says like, people have fantasized for this. Anyone who's a big fan of wrestling knows who he is. Big E says it's amazing. I'm like, oh fucking shit.
Yeah.
And like Regal introduces him, he says, one of the greatest stars of Japanese wrestling. And before he says the name, a guy in the crowd yells, Yoshitatsu, which was funny to me. And then he introduces Kenta, who has some, albeit stereotypical, fucking sick-ass music.
Yeah. It ruled.
If you take out the stereotypical Japanese strings at the start, it would just be normal. But it does rule even with that, and you know, it's fine. He gets a massive pop from the audience.
Yeah. I,
He comes down. He looks great. He's in like a suit and shit. You know.
mm,
And yeah, he comes out. He grabs the mic, says hello to NXT, and then he talks in Japanese for a bit. And you can tell we're in Florida because like people start getting impatient.
oh, I was taking it as like at the end of every sentence, even though he was speaking in Japanese, they were like, oh shit,
Sure,
like popping
maybe
off
that was
to
it.
it.
Maybe that was it. I'll take that. But he talks in Japanese, and then I assume he says effectively the same thing, but in English. His English is rusty. I don't really hold that against him. I kind of hold. They give him. There's some moments where you're like, oh, he's really trying to remember the script, and remembering a script in a different language to your first is
Yeah,
that seems difficult. So I don't blame him for that. I think they could have given him a bit of a shorter promo, or have the interruption that comes in a bit come even a little earlier. I know he'll probably have to like keep talking as a part of his training here, but I think for a first introduction, what comes after his talking is what really makes him look fucking sick, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, he says it's a dream come true to be here in NXT and on WWE. He says his name, Hideo Itami, is a tribute to his heroes, and that's why he's not going to be Kenta anymore. The reason he's not going to be Kenta anymore is because they want like the copyright.
Yeah.
Obviously. Um, Hideo Itami. Do you know what this translates into?
No idea.
It's pretty sick. I can't lie. Hero of pain.
Dude, that's sick as hell. What?
Yeah.
Hero of Pain.
So when I was looking out, he like said it's like a tribute to his heroes or whatever. I thought it was gonna be somebody specific. It's like no, it's like just like two heroes. So that rules really fucking hard. I can't lie. He says his goal is to be NXT champion, and then my biggest nightmare happens. The Ascension's music hits.
And
I thought we were done.
I went from such a high of like we're finally out of the like Ascension, out of the CJ Parker era. We can get into good shit. And then they come back out.
Yeah, and you know what? In this segment, it works. I'll give it to him. It works
Yeah.
here. Because Connor says he
Yeah.
wants a rematch for the NXT title. He like Victor dumps a Tommy out in the ring, and they start talking to Regal, and they want a rematch. And then one of the coldest moments of all time occurs, because Tommy just gets back up on the apron, starts taking his shit off, and Connor just like seems like he legitimately is stopped in the middle of his sentence by the aura of Hideo Itami.
Dude,
Like it,
this
like
entire
wrestlers are not the best actors a lot of times, especially some of these guys in
Yeah.
NXT. Connor looked like legitimately he shat his pants.
I mean, he's doing like Hideo is doing nothing but aura forming this entire sequence
Yeah.
because like after he's like getting out of his suit, throws
Oh.
Ascension out the ring, he gets a chair to just sit on it and taunt them.
Yeah, he gets on the chair and just does like the bring it on shit. He takes him on 2-on-1, dumps him out, grabs the chair. It's so fucking. This is how you do a debut. If it's not going to be a match,
Yeah.
this is the longest reigning NXT Tag Champs just got kind of dumped out 2-on-1 by this guy. And at the end of it, Regal has a face like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This guy's
When
good.
the Ascension first appeared, I was really hoping it would be Hideo and Regal tag teaming against them,
Yeah.
but
Well, I
it was
will
better
say,
than that. Oh?
at the next show, NXT R Evolution, which is a dumb name, we will get the Ascension versus Hideo Itami and a partner.
Oh shit. Regal
that-
hop back in the ring.
Sadly, it's not going to be Regal, but it is going to be Finn Balor. So we have
Oh,
that to look
shit.
forward to. Finn Balor will debut soon, and they're going to team up. They both have like a Japanese wrestling connection, so I think that's why they team up. But yeah, so this is building to that match. But yeah, great segment, awesome introduction to Itami. He feels like This debut made it feel like he could, on the next edition of NXT, go, hey, give me a title shot, and they would.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
he's just that much aura. And that was so fucking sick. So
What
anyways, we
if
have
you
Bull Dempsey versus Mojo Rawley.
I find it so funny. This is the first time they've led into a match not using like prior video of the matches they had on Weekly, but pictures of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because I think that's how they make this look good. So the Bull Dempsey debuted mid-June, and he's kind of like the new big bully, kind of like dominant guy. And I don't think's very good.
No.
And he's facing Mojo Rawley, who is, as we know, not very good. And the
At
reason
least they
this
get a long match.
well, the reason this match is happening is because these two were kind of put into a tag team, and they get in the tag tournament, and they lose to the Vaudevillains, and then afterwards, Dempsey the week before they had or 2 weeks before they had a tag match, and Dempsey was like, "If we lose, you will have the wrath of the Wrecking Ball." So when they lose, Dempsey just kicks the shit out of Mojo. And then Mojo wins the match the next week. He's like, "Fuck you, Dempsey." And that's how we get a match at Takeover. It's
Yeah.
minimal build. It's minimal talent. And
Hey.
so this match starts. Dempsey like hits him a couple times. Mojo hits him a couple times. Dempsey hits a top rope, a headbutt, and wins.
Yeah. And then
5
Dempsey
stars.
hits a second one after the
Yep.
match ends.
And that's the match. This is nothing. I don't really want to spend any more time on it. I'm sick of Mojo Rawley. Bull Dempsey
I do want to say,
can do the top rope headbutt thing. That looks cool, but
yeah.
nothing really
I
there.
just wanted to say, even in this, like, I don't even think it was 2 minutes long, like 1 minute long match.
Yeah.
Somehow Mojo Rawley is bleeding from the forehead.
Yes, they've managed to do that. This match is 1 minute 10 seconds, and yeah, this on the first NXT Takeover, we had a lot of discussion about. It was a tale of two halves. We had the 3 matches, and we had the rest of like the squashes. This show has the exact same issue, but worse, because
Yeah.
there are 2 matches. It's a 2-match card, which are the remaining 2 matches. And I think they had, between the tag title match and the hair versus hair match, at least one of those could have been a third. Neither of them really were. The tag match was the closest, but like I don't think it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So this show feels hollower than the previous ones just by virtue of there are 2 matches that are must see instead of 3. And I think part of that is on the last show, you had Sami Zayn versus Tyler Breeze and Tyson Kidd versus Neville, but now they're all in one match. And even though that match gets a ton of time, you want the card to feel more balanced. They still haven't really figured out how to kind of exercise the demons of filler on these cards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's not great.
I think it would help if any of the matches had like fulfilling ends, good build up, good like out of ring segments.
Yeah,
But
I
it
think
felt like
it's just bad. None of it's good.
yeah.
It's boring. That's the thing. It's not necessarily like if it was just bad and objectionable, that would be interesting. But it's just nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anyways,
I think at this point I'm like, are we gonna get to the good shit? We have to be close. And then we see Enzo and
Nope.
Cass again, and I'm like, oh fucking shit. Enzo does Enzo's looking because he's like, nobody's bald. I was promised a bald guy. He also calls the potion the Victoria's secret weapon.
I didn't catch that, but that's really good.
It's really good. I appreciate that. They're walking. They conveniently see LaFour and Louis over to the side, and Louis has a towel over his head, and LaFour looks like somebody was murdered.
Yeah, truly horrified.
LaFour sees Enzo and Cass comes, and he runs away to let Louis just get fucking picked up by Cass and march him into the arena to show a bald person. Enzo is like building up. He's like, I'm gonna reveal it. I'm gonna pull. He's got a towel on his head. He's like, I'm gonna reveal it. I'm gonna reveal it. He goes to swipe it off of his head. He misses, and then he has to go with the other arm to pull it off. You caught that too, right? I didn't imagine that.
Yeah, no, I thought he was at first just doing like a big like windmill pull off, but he
Yeah.
definitely did go for the one arm, missed,
'Cause
and just had to commit to it.
They do replay it, and it's like, oh, he definitely missed. Like, I don't know why they showed that replay.
There were multiple replays, mainly for Enzo and
Yeah. It's like, why?
Sylvester's match, but also some earlier ones where it was showing some of the slip ups, and I was like, just cut the replay
Why
a
are
little
you showing
early.
that replay? Yeah. But they reveal Marcus Louis' bald head. It's got little tufts and stuff. Marcus Louis sells it amazingly.
Yeah.
I can't lie. He looks fucking perturbed. He looks like
The
someone was shot.
Yeah, the announcing table notably calls him both Quasimodo and a cue ball with lint.
Yeah, Renee calls him a chia pet. And then also, in what was low-key the most devastating line of the night, she goes, well, he was already a little weird looking. I'm like, whoa,
Which is like,
what the fuck?
ouch, that's just him as a person.
He looks normal to me. I didn't notice anything.
Anyways, do you want to check out BuzzFeed? There's a random BuzzFeed ad in the middle of this.
Yeah. Also, before we go to that, Enzo goes. He says Marcus Louis is BAWLD, bald,
Bald? Yeah.
which is great. I love adding W's to things. That's awesome. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck that BuzzFeed ad's about, but we get something much better, which is a video package showcasing Bayley versus Charlotte. What are your thoughts on this? Because I know we've kind of on the video. We'll get into the match soon, but what are your thoughts on in terms of like Bayley's presentation? Because I know you took some issues with like Emma.
Yeah.
Bayley is like Emma adjacent gimmick wise, but I think different. What are your thoughts on this?
So, I personally loved Bailey's presentation because while Emma felt like they were playing on the like airheadedness aspect, Bailey's felt like she was specifically a fan of wrestling who wanted to spread the joy that wrestling gave her. That made it a bit more of a nuanced gimmick that I didn't mind nearly as much. Like
Yeah. I love this Bayley. Bayley's so good.
I love Bailey here. This is a great
this
promo.
is prime hugger Bayley.
Yeah.
And
I will say
she balances the like she's excited to be there, but she's also here to win and prove herself. And
Yeah.
they make that abundantly clear. That is always forefront of her character.
Yeah, because like she has seen so much history, she wants to be a part of it, and like that I love that beat for any character.
Mm-hmm.
Like but I do want to say about the promo,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to the day that we get a women's match promo where both of them have independent promos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
because I
noticed that.
understand.
I think, yeah, I don't. I simply watching the build up. There's simply just not much to talk about with Charlotte. I can't lie. I don't know why they didn't do anything because it's not like that stopped them from like the men's main events before. But like these two have been kind of feuding for like 3 straight months here, and the feud is very much focused on. They've only had a match or two. It's been a lot of tag stuff. But the feud is very
Okay.
much focused on, does Bayley have what it takes to step up to Charlotte, who is like, I think to them, this established character versus Bayley, who they're trying to make. But yeah, yeah. The also, I don't know if you caught, but they played some Always Sunny music in Bayley's package here,
Yeah.
which is funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just caught me off guard. I was like, what the fuck? She says, no matter how beautiful and good the other women are, they don't want it as much as she does, which I think is a beautiful distillation of her character. She says wants to be the best for a long time, but the Charlotte side of this package is that she's welcoming Bayley to reality. She tells Bayley to stick to hugs. And Bayley ends it kind of saying it will mean so much more to beat Charlotte for the Divas Champion, or not the Divas Championship, that's what Paige has, the Women's Championship, because she is so great. And then Bayley's like, oh yeah, I want to be like Shawn Michaels.
Which I understand trying to tie in the like history aspect of her character, but random fool to just be like, man, I want to be like Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, it's not like today where Shawn Michaels was heading up NXT. He was just like, he cut a rambly promo last time, but he's not like in charge of anything. But yeah, that leads us to Charlotte versus Bayley for the women's title. The kind of build up to this match, right after the first NXT Takeover, a couple weeks in, Bayley pins Charlotte in a 6-woman tag match with Charlotte is teaming with Sasha, who we see later, and Summer Rae. And Bayley gets saved from a post-match beatdown by Emma and Paige, and so there's a 6-woman tag, and Bayley pins Charlotte in it after the BFFs of Charlotte, Sasha, and Summer Rae. They have tensions kind of coming up, so Charlotte gets distracted in that and gets pinned. And as we go on, we're seeing a lot of like dissension with the BFFs. And we low-key get a sneaky crazy tag match on the July 3rd edition of NXT because it is Bayley and Becky Lynch taking on Charlotte and Sasha Banks, which is, I believe, the first like unofficial four horsewomen match.
That's
It's
that's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, it's just on TV and nobody knows at the time, obviously. But that match happens and Charlotte and Sasha win after some underhanded tactics, but Charlotte walks out on Sasha post-match. Bayley takes out Charlotte. Summer Rae beat Bayley in a number one contenders match, but she loses, which leads to another number one contenders match between Bayley and Sasha Banks, and Bayley wins that one. And Charlotte's kind of demeaning Bayley a lot. She's telling her to not even think about going after her. There's no point. You're stick to hugging. And then in the final big angle for these two, Bayley beats Sasha Banks again. Charlotte comes out post-match and says she'll give Bayley a chance to give up now. Bayley offers a handshake, and Charlotte refuses. And that takes us to this match. What are your thoughts overall?
I really like this match. I thought it had some pretty solid spots. I love Bailey's intro and outfit.
Yeah.
Very
We have the
fun
wacky,
and
waving, arm flailing, inflatable tube man.
yeah. And
And
I thought
that makes a show 5 times better, regardless of kind of anything else.
yeah, and I thought especially, or I guess I should say, maybe it was because the other matches felt so hollow, but it felt like both of them sold the moves really well that it made
Yeah.
it feel like more of a match.
Yeah, this doesn't top Natalia versus Charlotte for me, but it's
Oh
better
no.
than Paige and Emma.
I
And I think what this match is missing is 5 more minutes. I think just when they
I
kind of got going, it ends.
I agree, and I think those 5 more minutes should have been majority Bailey on offense because it felt
Yeah.
like the first like 10 minutes of this match were just dominated by Charlotte.
Yeah. Yeah. So give this match 5 minutes. Just cut Mojo versus Bull Dempsey from it, and you probably got 5 minutes, including entrances.
Yeah.
But whatever, you know. So we get like the full ring introductions for this match, making it feel like a big time title match. We get like the graphic up, and I wanted to note that because I was like, they don't do that for like. I think the reason the tag titles feel like nothing is that there's no prestige lended to them. Like they don't treat it
Yeah.
really like it's a big deal. Like the Ascension lose, but there was no like huge thing for it. And then they come out later and they like kind of mention it, but they're afterthoughts to Hideo Itami, and that was just a random thought I had. It's like they don't really treat the tag titles with respect here. But the women's
Yeah.
championship definitely does. Match starts immediately. We get one of the greatest chants of all time, which is Bailey's gonna hug you,
Yeah.
which just
That's a
is
great
awesome.
chant. Yeah.
Charlotte this time offers a handshake, but Bailey refuses and drives her into the corner, slams her head into the turnbuckle.
Yeah,
Charlotte
looked
chops
painful.
her up. Bailey hits a crossbody chop elbow combo on the ground. That was really good. Bailey goes for a backslide pin, but Charlotte just kind of pulls her back and snaps her neck anyways in like a neck breaker that looks really cool. Charlotte has a lot of fun with the figure four headlock. She does some rolling offense with it, doing the somersaults, which always looks really cool.
Yeah.
Also, she does like a prototypical devil's kiss with less horny Booker T commentary, but the move where she has the figure four headlock in and she slams Bailey's head on the ground. That Stephanie Vaquer is known for now. Bailey is like super fucking beloved by this audience.
Yeah,
I just
they're
kept noting
fully
that
on
throughout the
Bailey's
match.
side.
They love Bailey. Sequences of roll ups and kickouts. Bailey goes for a sunset flip, but Flair turns it into a figure four. But Bailey gets a close roll up out of that. Charlotte puts an end to all of these quick pins with a knee, though. Taunting elbows from Charlotte lead to a fiery Bailey comeback. However, Charlotte counters Bailey in the corner and slams her down while kneeing her face, which looked like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like she had her on the ropes and she knees her while slamming her down. Charlotte climbs for the moonsault, but Bailey knocks her down. She hits this awesome top rope Hurricane Rana. And that's really where I felt like I was like, oh, Bailey's coming back. But match doesn't
Yeah.
last too much longer.
I do also want to say prior to that, Charlotte also hit a woo,
Oh, yeah.
and the commentator said Bailey's strength is that she watches the product, which I loved because that implies no one else does, and she's the only one.
No, she's a real fan, I guess. And everybody else
Yeah.
is like, fucking, I'm awesome. Who cares?
But yeah, no, the Bailey Rada was awesome.
Yeah, top rope. Rana gets a late kick out by Charlotte because she takes too long to pin her. Bailey to belly is countered into a roll up, but Charlotte rolls her into the bottom turnbuckle like head first. It looked kind of
Yeah.
nasty. Charlotte looks for the moonsault and hits it, but Bailey kicks out. I'm not sure if they planned it, but I think maybe Bailey kicked out because like Charlotte kind of over rotates. She like kind of stops herself from hitting it full momentum.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that corner turnbuckle like actually hurt because like I could see it hit and then the ref dashed over to Bailey, so I think
Yeah.
Charlotte was like, even if they had more time, we need to wrap it up and
Sure. And then she hits the moonsault, Bailey kicks out, and then Charlotte hits the now what's called the natural selection for the win, which is a better name than bow down to the queen, which is a
yeah,
shit
it
name.
looks sick.
Good match again. I think 5 more minutes really could have kind of put it into excellent territory. Instead, it was just very good. And then post match, we have a really interesting angle. Sasha comes out, she like claps sarcastically, and then she gets in to beat down Bailey, who they have had beef during TV, and then Charlotte is like, for no reason, like watching it happen on the screen. Like it would make sense if she was like walking out and then doing that, but she just like looked there instead of at the thing that was happening 20 feet away from her.
Well,
But
she
she
wanted a
decides
better
to come.
view of it.
She decides to come back in and save Bailey. Throws Banks to the corner. She now respects Bailey. And that's gonna lead us to Bailey, or not Bailey, Sasha Banks versus Charlotte at the next Takeover event,
Yeah.
which is
I
super exciting.
I'm excited for that, and I also loved that Charlotte held up the belt like a priest holding up a cross to get Sasha to leave.
Yeah,
Like she was like, "Leave," and Sasha was like recoiling from it.
out
Which, yeah,
spirits. We get the final video package for our main event fatal four-way match for Sami Zayn, who commentary is describing as the favorite.
and
This
then
video package has
he's
got like Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins being like, Sami Zayn's fucking awesome.
yeah. It felt weird hearing the commentator say like he's the favorite for the match, and then he immediately starts by saying, "I'm always underestimated," and it was like, well,
Yeah. We kind of crossed our wires there story wise. I don't know where the miscommunication happened, but he's always been the underdog to me.
yeah,
That's kind of his quintessential character. But
yeah,
big kind of points of this promo is that Zayn really wants to take down Neville because he's the best and he wants to prove he's the best. Leave no doubt that he's the champion. He says he will get the NXT championship. It's just a matter of when. They're really setting up like Neville and Zayn as kind of like
yeah,
the X factors of this match and how they respect each other, and that'll play into the main event. And then we see Sami Zayn warming up backstage with the wired earbuds in. That rules. I can't lie.
yeah.
So
It
yeah,
looks
we
sick.
have our NXT Fatal 4-Way main event for the title. The lead up to this match, you'll recall Tyler Breeze wins the number one contendership at Takeover. But he waits a couple weeks to cash it in because he's doing a bunch of other stuff. He debuts the world premiere of the music video for #gorgeous, which is his song he uses.
I love that.
And this is the first week after Takeover. He's moved to tears as the music video ends. He's just the fucking best. I can't lie. While this is happening, Neville beats Tyson Kidd in a rematch with Natalya ringside. And the match in the match, Kidd actually gets a 3 count from the referee, but he reverses his decision after seeing that Neville's foot was on the ropes. Restarts the match. Kidd tries to grab a chair because he's so upset. Natalya takes it out of his hand, saying he's better than that, which allows Neville to win.
Yeah,
Then we don't get the Breeze title shot for a while because he says he was in a tragic hand modeling accident.
okay.
So he's going to hold on to that
Yeah.
title shot for a while. He's the fucking best. I can't lie.
I'm so
But
happy Tyler Breeze is here.
meanwhile, Natalya convinces the GM at the time, JBL, to get a tag title match for Sami Zayn and Tyson Kidd against the Ascension. But he bails on Sami Zayn about 3 minutes into the match because he didn't get tagged in yet, and he just let Sami get beat. So the kid showing
Okay.
those heelish tendencies. Then he kind of turns full heel after Sami Zayn beats Justin Gabriel in the match. They ambush Sami. Neville makes a save. And then we have a couple tag matches with Zayn and Neville versus Kidd and Gabriel. Kidd at one point fakes a knee injury to gain an advantage, but then Natalya gets hurt for real while she's watching the match. And Kidd and like Sami Zayn and Neville are like, "Oh, is Natalya okay?" And then Kidd just rolls up Sami Zayn to win, and he's like, "Yay!" And Natalya's like, "What the fuck, dude?" And he's like, "I won though," um, which is
Okay, but
really
I kind
fucking
of love
funny.
that.
No, it's
Yeah.
really good. And then later, Tyler Breeze announces that he has submitted his music video for Gorgeous to the Oscars for consideration as a documentary. Tyler Breeze is so fucking good. I can't lie. I'm just going to say it every time I say something about him. But Breeze finally cashes in his title shot but Tyson Kidd causes a disqualification in the match, meaning Breeze doesn't win because he comes down and interferes. Sammy makes the save. And that leads us to Regal trying to, in his first day as GM, announce a match for Takeover, but he keeps getting interrupted, and Neville goes, fuck it, make it a fatal four-way. And so they make a fatal four-way. And then they have a tag match on NXT, but I think the more interesting thing, which they highlight, is on the September 8th edition of Raw, 3 days before this broadcast, the guys in this main event are given a tag match on Raw.
Oh, shit, really?
That Neville wins with the Red Arrow. He and Zayn win. They do a little stare down afterwards. But I was like, that's cool. And, the audience seemed to get a little into it. It was a really good match. But yeah, we get our main event fatal four-way. What were your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I'm biased because I definitely think my favorite wrestler at NXT at the moment is Tyler Breeze, so any match he's in, I'm going to enjoy.
He is gorgeous.
He is gorgeous. I thought it was pretty good. Found myself thoroughly enjoying the match, though I do wish there was a bit more all four of them action, because it felt like there was a lot of spots of like either two of them or three of them fighting, but never all four at once.
Okay.
Aside from, well, there's the one spot, but
yeah, I think we differ. I think this was, in my opinion, one of the two best matches we've seen so far. And I think the first half is a little slow, but I think the second half, when it kicks into gear, is so fucking good. And I think the start, they kind of pair off and stuff, but I think by the end of it, they are really all kind of working together at such a pace. But we'll go through the match. All of these guys, I think Breeze and Sammy come out, and I think they have such cool entrances. And then Tyson Kidd comes out. He's got an oversized hoodie and big ass Beats headphones. And I was like, ooh, you're lame.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
I will say, I love Adrian Neville's new entrance. It's sick.
Neville's is good. He looks great. He looks pretty comfortable as champ.
Yeah.
So we get the championship intros for this. Breeze is posted up on the turnbuckle, and I don't know if you saw his phone case, but it said take a selfie, and that had like the Andy Warhol squares of his face. Just the best. He's just the fucking best.
That's good. I did see someone in the crowd had a sign of an iPhone and was like doing his like kiss face mog the entire show, and I really liked that.
Beautiful. So match starts. We get the immediate kind of first chants are for Tyson Kidd, honestly, and he gets a Natty's wife chant because it's 2014.
Mm-hmm.
A Natty's husband chant I can deal with. A Natty's wife chant, all right. All right,
yeah.
We can chill out on that. Early, we kind of do a lot of pairing off. Zayn and Breeze and Kidd and Neville kind of both split off, and they're beating each other down on the outside. We're teasing, like, a lot of this match is teasing the big kind of moment between Sammy and Neville. Like, they'll occasionally get the upper hand on both of the bad guys, and then they'll stare each other down. But then the bad guys come back in, and they take them out again. Zayn at one point gets Breeze's phone and hits him with it, and then takes a selfie. He's also the best. Those two are just the best. Zayn gets a early Koji clutch in on Tyson Kidd, but Breeze breaks it up. They all kind of fight up the ramp at one point.
And then Tyson hits like a half committed to spear to Adrian's knee.
Yeah, he hits like a low block to the knee, and then Breeze and Kidd hit a double suplex onto the stage onto Neville, which looks like it sucks. But not as much as the suplex they hit onto Sami Zayn on the ramp. on the steel ramp. That
Yeah.
looks like it fucking sucks. I can't lie. The heels team up on Sammy in ring and begins the entertaining story of Neville trying to get into the ring and then just getting fucking hit off the ring.
Okay.
It happens 3 times, and I go, surely that's the last time. And then it happens like 3
No.
more times.
No, before that, I do want to also say the commentators were like, I didn't expect Breeze and Tyson to work together when they were a tag team a week ago.
Okay,
And then-
no, but it makes sense. I didn't mention this because it was messy, but like Kid costs Breeze his NXT title shot. And so
Okay.
like Breeze is like mad at him, and then they're just tagging. And it's like, why are they tagging? So it makes sense for what they're saying, but they're citing the fact that they tagged last week. It's like, no, that's why it makes sense, because you made them tag again. I don't know why they just started tagging again. That's weird.
But yeah, that is weird. But I'm also going back to
That
where we
worked.
were in the. It worked, and I love that Adrian Neville is just like they're keeping him out the ring at any cost.
Yeah, especially Kid. He's like really putting him out. Yeah, Breeze and Kid are working together a bunch until at one point Breeze tries to pin Sammy and gets like a 1 count, and Kid's like, hey, what the fuck, pal? And he just boots him out the ring. Then we get an extended period of Kid trying to beat Sami Zayn before either of the other guys can get in the ring, which was pretty entertaining, and that results in like 3 more Neville getting pushed off the apron things.
Yeah.
A good sense of urgency. I also note at this point that Kid has fact on his groin.
He sure does.
What a guy. Kid hits a leg drop on the Sami Zayn drooped on the middle rope for a 2 count. At this point, we get the 4th Neville dump to the outside. This time he gets in, but then he gets dumped out. And then Kid like dumps him out. He kicks him hard out, and then he gets in and hits an awesome hesitation drop kick to Sami Zayn in the corner. Zayn eventually fights back, but Kid's gaining control. Neville gets back in finally. Zayn like hits Tyson enough to allow Neville to hit a big back body drop to Kid. Finally, Neville is in the match. And then that means Breeze has to be in the match. Zayn drop kicks him out of the ring, though. And then he looks to hit a dive to Kid and Breeze on the outside. But then Neville, who's on the apron, just does a top rope springboard moonsault. And then they have an aura stare down.
Yeah. No, I really liked that spot of Neville just taking his dive from him.
Yeah, that ruled really hard. That spot was so fucking sick. And he does the springboard moonsault, but most of the time when we've seen like that, we see it off the middle rope. He jumps off the top rope to do the moonsault, so he gets so much air.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we finally get like Sami Zayn versus Neville in ring. Zayn launches his elbow pads out, tells him to bring it on. Neville does like this flipping sequence, and he kind of over rotates and gets dumped on his fucking head.
Yeah.
And then Tyson Kidd
Looked
breaks it
painful.
up. He thankfully looked like he was fine. And then we get this awesome sequence too, where Neville and Tyson Kidd are on the top rope fighting. Neville shoves Kidd down, and Zayn looks to like hit Kidd, but then Tyson Kidd just like throws him up into Neville over him.
Yeah.
It's really inventive stuff at this point. The match really has gone into gear now. Twisting Nightbreaker to Zayn by Tyson Kidd for a near fall. Zayn
Which
and Kidd
looked amazing.
doing counters based around the sharpshooter, leading to a springboard elbow that Kidd goes for, being countered by the knees, which was nice. Sammy, and what I thought was I thought this was, until we see the obvious spot later, one of the best spot of the match. Sami Zayn has a haluva kick lined up, and then Breeze for the first time in like 7 minutes gets in the
Yeah.
ring, hits a beauty shot on him, hits a super kick on Tyson Kidd, and drop kicks Neville out of the air, and then he almost pins Neville, almost pins Kidd. Oh my god, that spot
No,
ruled so
no,
fucking hard.
no. I hard agree that like when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, Breeze is about to get his belt. I'm so happy. This is an amazing moment.
And then
And
he
then they
loses
kick
his
out.
shit.
Yeah, no,
They kick
he's
out and he just
really
throws a
selling.
tantrum.
Yeah,
At this point I go, Breeze has done the least, physically done the least in this match, but he's done the most in terms of I am the most into him.
yeah,
He's super awesome in this match. Where Breeze and Kid both go for another double suplex, but this time it's a double superplex on the top rope. But before they can, Sami Zayn grabs them and hits what now it's just a normal spot, but at the time one of the coolest fucking things you ever see. Hits the Tower of Doom for a near fall on Kid. Crowd fucking loses their shit when this happens. I
yeah.
assume this was
I
the spot you were alluding to.
Yeah, cause like I have never seen this. Cause like by the sound of it, it's something that happens pretty frequently now. I've never seen it before.
It's been kind of beaten into the ground a little bit now, but like here you can tell they build to it so well. It's so good.
It it. I mean, and they build to it great with like the suplexes on the ramp. You get a feel like, oh god, it's gonna be a superplex, and then seeing what happens, it just like it makes Sammy look great. It makes all of them great sellers for being able to pull it off, and
Yeah.
rightfully so. The crowd is losing their shit about
Yeah, they
this.
lose their shit to this. Zayn is like a ball of fire at this point. He starts doing stomps in the corner and he hits a stone cold oh hell yeah. Which
Yeah,
is maybe the funniest thing that's ever happened. Neville looks for the red arrow on the top rope, but Zayn, like, causes him to take a second. So instead, he just hits a fucking shooting star press onto Tyson Kidd. But then, I know the Tower of Doom ruled, in what was my spot of the night, he hits the shooting star press onto Tyson Kidd, and then Tyler Breeze just gets in, throws him out of the ring, and tries to pin Kidd, and he gets
yeah.
a 2.99 count.
No, that was a really good spot. Breeze just like ruining his momentum to chuck him out the ring once
Yeah.
again.
Character-wise, Breeze is doing the most here.
Yeah.
Breeze goes for a beauty shot on Zayn, but Kid kind of pushes him out of the way, and he puts him into a sharpshooter, which was a cool spot. Breeze almost crawls to the ropes. He gets pulled back, and he looks like he's about to tap, but then Neville just, like, grabs his arm and is like, fuck you, don't tap.
Yeah.
My fucking championship. And then
That was good.
Sammy breaks it up. That was a great spot. A thank you Neville chant breaks out for not letting Kid win, which shows you where he is.
Yeah.
Commentator Byron Saxton asks for hashtag breathtaking to trend. We don't really understand Twitter hashtags at this point in time.
No, not at all.
Neville and Zayn trade blows. Neville gets in what is I keep going, this is my favorite part of the match. And what was I think legitimately my favorite part of the match. Neville gets dumped to the outside by Sammy. Sammy hits the exploder suplex into the corner on Tyson Kidd. He looks like he's going to run and hit him, but instead he just dives to the outside, and Neville gets dumped over the top turnbuckle. People are losing their shit over that, but while they're still losing their shit over that, Sammy runs and hits the tornado DDT through the ring post on Tyler Breeze, gets back in, hits the haluva kick on Tyson Kidd. Just like, I'm like, how does he still have breath here? He looks like he's going to have the 3 count, but then Neville pulls the ref out of the ring. Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
you think that's the end of the match with how awesome that spot was. And the fact Neville got dumped, not only he got hit on the outside, but he got dumped over the barricade. I was like surprised he got back in to pull the ref out.
No, I mean, that genuinely, if it wasn't the Tower of Doom, I think that and Breeze's midair drop kick sequence are the spots of the night.
Yeah.
Fantastic match.
So yeah, Neville pulls out the ref. He gets booed, which is, interesting, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't had much of that. Then you got this is option chant. Zayn is like, what the fuck would you do that for, bro? Even though it's legal, it is a bit scummy. And then Zayn comes to the outside to try and get Neville. Neville hits a huge super kick, climbs to the top, hits the red arrow on Tyson Kidd, who had been haluva kicked, and he
Yeah.
retains the belt. Sammy just inches away from breaking up the pin. He can't quite get back in the ring in time. In my opinion, a fantastic match. Certainly match of the night.
Yeah. No,
They
I mean
got like 25 minutes to go here, and they really used it.
this is definitely a like we were saying, we wished the rest of the night had been a bit more filled,
Yeah.
but this definitely made the pay-per-view worth watching. Though,
Yes.
if someone were to start this pay-per-view like an hour in and just see the Charlotte match and this one, I wouldn't blame them.
No, I think that was. I think this pay per view you can watch this match, the women's title match, and the Hideo Itami debut, and you'll have your fill.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the
Mi-
match. Post match, not a ton happens. Sammy just looks kind of emo while Neville's like, "Fuck yeah, I won!" He's like
Yeah.
kind of popping off a little extra. Yeah, great match in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match to wrap the night up on. Had a lot of energy, and it made me want to see more of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that is, in my opinion, how a match should leave you.
Yeah.
Like, it could have gone on 5 more minutes.
Yeah, and this is setting up, obviously setting up a Sami Zayn versus Neville title match.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we'll get on the next takeover. Neville kind of like, I think very smartly here, he retains, but he's not full heel, but he's kind of verging heelish. And I think if you're leading
Yeah.
to that Zayn versus Neville match, you know Neville's not going to get cheered as much as Sammy. So naturally integrating this character stuff in to make him like not a heel, but the heel in this feud, I think is smart.
No, I agree. And it's a very natural way to make him feel like a heel, where it's, I want to win, and not just like him randomly throwing Sammy through like a
Yeah.
windshield or something.
And it's not like he wants to win, but it's not like he was overtly breaking the rules. He just did something kind of frowned upon.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the show ends Neville posing on the ramp while Sammy sits in the ropes, heartbroken. And that is NXT Takeover Fatal 4-Way. Overall thoughts on the show?
Definitely the weakest of the three we've watched, because, like, in the same way we were saying Takeover had lower lows and much higher highs than Arrival, which kind of verged on average for most of the show, I felt like the show had much, much lower lows and got to some highs, but it felt like you would enjoy more of just watching the first Takeover.
Sure. Yeah, I think this is the weakest of the three so far. I think it's not like skip worthy or something, but it is.
No.
The first half is not notable, kind of in any ways. I didn't mention this, but like the only like consequential thing is Marcus Louis losing his hair. But LaFour and Louis will not appear on another takeover. They're not really big players in NXT after this, and then they're gonna both be released in 2016 early. So like, not a lot going on noteworthy in the first half at all.
Yeah.
But the second half really heats up, and I really think this Fatal 4-Way is excellent. It does a Fatal 4-Way in a different way to, at this point, WWE has ever done multi-man matches. For them, it has always been two people in the ring, one gets dumped out, the person is resting on the outside, not even because of a move, but they're just like waiting, and they get in, and it's a series of one-on-one matches, whereas this one, they were kind of integrating each other much better. And then the women's title match was good, although shorter than I would have liked. But it's leading to something good. They're doing great work there. And that is NXT
Yeah.
Takeover Fatal 4-Way. Next, we will have the final 2014 Takeover, December 11th, with NXT Takeover R Evolution, which is a dumb name. It's not Revolution, it's R Evolution. And this card is pretty stacked, I can't lie. We have Kevin Owens in his WWE debut match taking on CJ Parker. Because he has to face somebody.
Yeah.
NXT tag titles are on the line as the Lucha Dragons defend against the Vaudevillains.
Okay.
Baron Corbin takes on Ty Dillinger. Sure. We have Finn Balor and Hideo Itami tagging to take on the Ascension.
Okay.
We have an NXT Women's Championship match between Charlotte and Sasha Banks, which will be
Excited for that.
That'll be good. And then the main event, Adrian Neville defends against Sami Zayn for the NXT Championship. If Sami loses, he is forced to leave NXT.
Okay, so
Anybody could win. Anybody could win.
I love the confidence. I do not think the company is willing to trade
Maybe he's
Adrian
going
Neville
to-
keeping belt.
Maybe he's going to the main roster. You never
Yeah.
know. But yeah,
Me looking at the history books of Sami Zayn teaming up with Kevin Owens and they just disappear. Huh?
they get fucking Thanos snapped. It like disappears from your face. But yeah, that is what we have to look forward to for next week. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point for listening. We'll be back with NXT R Evolution next time. Appreciate y'all listening along. That was NXT Takeover Fatal 4-Way. See y'all.